Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. And if you're Tyson Fury, you somehow end up finding yourself in the right positions to make the most money. But at the end of the day, the WBC's got to do something. But they're so inconsistent with their rules and regulations that they've kind of put themselves in a position to where they almost have to let some of these fighters, march to the beat of their own drum. And if not, I wonder if the WBC could face a lawsuit, because you take a look at how they've allowed, or how they made Thurman basically give up his strap, how they've allowed Jamal Charlo to not defend his belt, even though he has things going on in his personal life. And I totally get them being understanding. Still a little extreme, let him go on 2 years without defending that belt. And then you look at Tyson Fury now, who's been, for the most part, I would say, inactive as far as defending the belt in what I would consider a timely manner. Now, remember, these aren't really my words, right? But when you take a look at the WBC's own rules and regulations, and make this a little bit bigger for you, right? It says here, when you really try to understand, the WBC may make such a determination based upon special circumstances, which include, but not limited to, and let me come down here a little bit, all right, as far as the inactivity of champions. So let me just break it down from here, right? I've read through it, so let me not jump ahead. If a WBC champion is or may become inactive, which Tyson Fury is inactive, right, in a manner that may prevent or unduly delay him from fulfilling his voluntary and mandatory defense obligations. He's not defending that belt. And the time frame determined by the WBC. Okay, what time frame? See, it's very vague, and these instructions aren't explicit. They are in certain areas, but not when it comes to this. It's very vague, which allows some flexibility. And then it says on a case-by-case basis. So what this does is allow the WBC to treat every fighter differently based upon the unique facts and circumstances existing at that time in the division. You look at Tyson Fury, really? He should have defended that damn WBC belt already against Usyk. But he's in cahoots with the WBC because they're looking at how much money there is on the table for him to fight Ngannou and then John Jones. Watch, he's not going to fight Usyk anytime soon. The WBC should strip him, but when you understand what's in their own rules and regulations, now you understand why Tyson Fury is not being stripped. The WBC may declare the championship vacant and order one or more bouts to fill the vacant title. Well, you know they're not going to do that. Such inactivity that may prevent a champion from defending his title in a timely manner as required under these rules. And then it lists a few things that could fit those requirements, right? The WBC may make such a determination based upon special circumstances, which may include, but not limited to, medical issues or injury, legal issues or contractual impediments, personal or family issues. Okay, we understand that's what's going on with Jamal. Other controversy or circumstances, whether or not beyond the control of the boxer or in the WBC. So when you just look at items A through D, Tyson Fury, there's no medical issues or injury. There's no legal issues and contractual impediments. There's no personal or family issues. Actually, personal is very vague as well. So maybe his personal issue is that he can go out here and fight these MMA fighters and make a bunch of money. You just don't know. It's not explicit. These instructions are very, very vague. And then you come down to this last paragraph where it says, it's the sole responsibility of the champion to notify the WBC in writing in a timely manner of any circumstances that may prevent him from complying with his title defense obligations in the event that a champion fails to notify the WBC in a timely manner of such circumstances. Now, this is something that we got to understand. If you listen to Mauricio Suleiman, he talks about how Tyson Fury has a year to defend the belt. So now that you understand that with Tyson Fury, and he hasn't, matter of fact, I'm going to tell you right now, let's pull up old Tyson Fury here. I don't think it's been a year since Tyson Fury's defended the belt.
8 years in MMA, 100%.
Matter of fact, let me stop that. Matter of fact, when you take a look at this right here, he fought Derek Chisora on December 2022. So that tells you all you need to know. Tyson Fury is going to get the fights in that he wants. That has nothing to do with defending that title, as long as he's within that 1 year mark. And then on a case-by-case basis, the WBC will work with him, and Tyson Fury will probably go and fight John Jones in another mega bout. And then sometime in 2024, he may or may not fight Alexander Usyk. Now, I still think, he gets through the Ngannou fight, okay, no problem. But after Ngannou, they really should consider stripping him of that championship. You know what I'm saying? Look, he's going to be fighting in Saudi, I'm hearing all kind of numbers, but bottom line is he's going to make a lot of money. And we know it's a money grab, and he just doesn't care. He's cashing out. Does Ngannou stand a chance? I mean, he has a puncher's chance, but most people feel that Usyk has a better chance of winning than Ngannou. But the bottom line is, when you're in these spectacles, and money runs boxing, often what we feel should happen morally when you're talking about boxing and a guy being a champion, that's not what happens. And case in point is the WBC has created a belt. The baddest man on the planet belt, or some crap that they created, that's going to go to the winner of Tyson Fury between the winner of Tyson Fury versus Ngannou. It's crazy. Now, it's frustrating because you say right now, Tyson Fury is arguably the best heavyweight in the world. You know what I'm saying? When he and Deontay Wilder really elevated each other's profiles, man. You're talking about a very, very good trilogy. It had the suspense, had the drama, it had everything. It made for, in my opinion, 3 epic encounters. Okay? And people are still talking about it. They'll be talking about it for years to come. It's just one of those fights that are going to go down in the history of the sport as must-see. But I'm going to tell you this right here. As far as where Fury has his place in boxing that he's secured, okay, good. We can't take that from him. But as far as people's tolerance levels with him and his antics, people are just over it. Just like Tyson Fury doesn't seem to be interested in fighting Usyk, people don't seem to be interested in hearing Tyson Fury's excuses. They're just tired. Tyson Fury just out here collecting checks. He don't care about the titles. The fans want to see him collect the titles, not the checks, because the checks come with that. But Tyson Fury just isn't worried about it. He'd gone on record. This is what blew my mind. He said, "Hey, has it ever been my priority?" Now, these are his words. These are not my words. He told the person who was interviewing him, "Has this ever been my priority?" That's what Fury said when they were asking about Usyk. He said, "Did I ever say I want to undisputed? It's always been some other little B word dream." And he's not lying about that. What Tyson Fury said was he's had all the belts already. And in his mind, to me, he just doesn't care. But he said he'd fight Usyk, but Usyk would have to take a little amount of money, means more like a 75-25 split. And that's it. But Tyson Fury knows if he fights Usyk for that undisputed distinction in Saudi, a 75-25 split in his favor could mean up to $100 million payday. And I'm telling you right now, no matter what, there will be a genuine interest in seeing Tyson Fury get in there and bang against, I call him Little Mac, Usyk. Because there's still some people, although Usyk looked pretty normal against Dubois, that feel styles make fights, and they feel Usyk would beat Tyson Fury. But I still think the most intriguing match is this Ngannou, because I just think if Tyson Fury, he looks sloppy, he looks out of shape, and he's never looked like a bodybuilder, but he looks really out of shape right now. But you just don't know what happens. He's fighting Ngannou, the guy from Africa. You hear his story, and Ngannou's not going to come in there and just let you beat him up. Ngannou's going to fight. And, he's a very tough, durable man. I just think that if Ngannou was able to get some shots off, it could be interesting. Hell, if Deontay Wilder, who people say have limited skills, right, who can't box, who's a street fighter with a big right hand, If Deontay Wilder could get to Fury, why can't Ngannou? That's all I'm saying. But at the end of the day, yeah, I would send it to want to side with Tyson Fury on winning that fight. But we'll see what happens. That being said, let's see what the WBC is going to do. But they're the ones over there in Saudi with Tyson Fury. They're the ones working behind the scenes to make sure these fights happen because it's a lot of money for them. You better believe, people. You think the WBC is letting this stuff happen because they just like Tyson Fury? No, there's something in it for them. These other sanctioning bodies, if they had the swagger of Suleiman, the connections like the WBC, they'd be working a lot of this stuff too. It just so happens that I don't know if they have integrity or they just don't have the connections. But bottom line is, if Fury is to believe that he only wants big names, that means he won't be defending his title against qualified opposition. And when he talks about big names, he's talking about Ngannou and John Jones. And when he says big names, he's talking about the names that could bring him the most money. Because if you look at Wilder, Ruiz, AJ, those guys, man, are three of the highest ranked fighters in the WBC. But none of them can give him the payday that he's getting against Ngannou and will get against John Jones. Usyk, maybe that if they can do it in Saudi for the undisputed distinction, Usyk, obviously that payday could be pretty handsome for Tyson Fury. But at the end of the day, we'll see because there's no MMA fighters ranked by the WBC. So at the end of this year, Tyson Fury is going to either be stripped or he's going to get the WBC red carpet treatment, and it's going to be a case-by-case basis where they allow him to make that have another fight, and then he'll be stripped if he doesn't fight Usyk or defend his title against somebody. And then we'll see what Tyson Fury does after that, because I think he's at a point where he's like, hell, I can fight anybody and make a bunch of money. I don't care about this title. And problem solved. But we'll see what happens. That being said, I don't think nobody should be telling Fury not to make money. I mean, hell, these guys putting their lives on the line. He should make as much money as he can, just like all other fighters. But it's just not cool. He's holding up the division because he can. And because he's preferring to seek out the best financial upside rather than defend his title against credible opponents. Jamal Charlo is his situation is a whole lot different than Tyson Fury's. So at some point, the WBC's got to make the right decision and strip him. If he doesn't face Usyk in an undisputed distinction, or he doesn't face one of those fighters ranked by the WBC for this fight after Ngannou. I mean, they're just proving basically that the belts really don't matter in the sport of boxing, and that's why these fighters, if the sanctioning bodies aren't going to really hold the belts in a high regard like they should, why should the fighters? They should just go out there and fight the opponents they want, belt or no belt, and make as much money as possible. Anyway, y'all leave your comments below, keep cool. But the WBC, their instructions are written very vague for a reason. And they're in cahoots with Tyson Fury and Saudi to make sure that, hey, we'll do this, whatever y'all want, as long as we're getting paid too. I truly believe that. It's all my opinion. But you can't make me believe that that's not what's going on. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the Bruce.